Well, hello, fabulous, and welcome to my channel. Do you want to find out how you can legally, listen what I said, legally avoid paying income tax? Listen, April 15th is just around the corner. Can you believe it? And if you have not filed your taxes or you filed it and you're like, how can I pay less taxes? I'm going to share something with you on how you can do that legally. All right, so stay tuned. Well, fabulous, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back to Paradise. On my channel, I share things as relates to marriage and money, motherhood and money, and everything else in between. And so one of the ways I'm going to talk about today is taxes. And you know, if you've seen any of my previous videos, I've shared different ways, especially as relates to having a home-based business. But maybe you have a 9-to-5 and you're like, listen, you're a tired living paycheck to paycheck. And your thought is, where did all my money go? I see these taxes. Where is this money going? You're not alone. Taxes are real, but what if I told you there is a legal way to opt out of paying income tax, right? Your income tax using this little known method called, and I want you to go ahead and write this down, the 12-411 method. Now, hold up. I'm not talking about tax evasions. I'm not talking about understanding the law and playing, but what I'm talking about that you can understand the tax laws and some of these different things, what wealthy people do. So today I want to break things down as relates to the 12-411 method and how it works and how some people are using it to legally to eliminate their income tax liability. So grab your notebook. Let's get into this right now. So I know you're probably like, what you talking about, Teacher Melanie? So what is the 12-411 method? So first thing first, what the heck is it? So the name comes from two things. I'm just going to give a little bit of background information just so you will know. It's in section 12 of the tax code and form 411, a document used specifically for a trust structure. Okay, so I want you to understand that. But this is the thing. The 411 reference is symbolic. It's not tied to any administrative paperwork as it relates to taxes or certain tax strategies that are related to IRS. Okay, so you're not going to find form. You're not going to find form. Form 12-411, right? This is a method. So this method is tied to irrevocable trust. Now you may wonder, what is an irrevocable trust? So the difference between an irrevocable trust and a revocable trust, irrevocable means that it cannot be changed. Once it's in the trust, that it cannot be changed. As opposed to a revocable, it can be changed. So that's the difference. So it's a constitutional rights and the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling that affirms the right of individuals to legally structure their affairs in a way that reduces and eliminates their tax burdens. And I know, if you're married and if you file jointly, if you're married and you file separate or single, right? This is just another method or strategy. So it's a strategy often used by wealthy families, business owners, even ministries to protect their assets and avoid excessive taxation. But here's the key. It's not about not paying taxes. It's about learning how not to owe them by lawfully restructuring your income streams and your assets. And I talk about having a multiple stream of income because the Word of God talks about that. So now, what about the legal foundation? Because yes, it is 100% legal if you do it right. Okay, it is 100%. Let me say this. Okay, the foundation of the 12-411 relies on this: support court rulings such as Gregory versus Helvering, which was part of the Union Pacific Railroad, 1916. Okay, so this has been in inception for a while. It's just that middle class America, right, don't know about it. And so now that I know, I'm sharing with you, which affirms your right to maximize tax liability using lawful means. So IRS code, especially laws that surrounding by trust. And I know we hear about trusts on all our social media. You need to get a trust, you need to get a trust. But before you do that, right, I want you to understand the trust process, right? I want you to understand too the process of a will. That's all that's important. And so I want you to click the link below once you've listened to all this, and look on my link, right, as it relates to legal terms. And not only that, but different companies that you can partnership to help you as it relates to this legal thing. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. So contract laws, yep, the U.S. Constitution recognized the right to contract, and private contracts are protected under the Constitution. So now, how does this all work? So before I go any further, this video is sponsored by Legal Protection, okay? So you can click the link below so you can talk to an attorney and have an understanding of how it works and how you can utilize it. All right, this is so how it works. So let's talk about process, and here's how the 1214 method generally works. Step 1, you establish a private irrevocable trust. Now remember what I said now, but what private is that it cannot be changed. Irrevocable means that it can. Step 2, now this is the thing, this type of trust isn't public record. It's formed by a contract, not statute. That means it's not filed with the state like an LLC or corporation. So I want you to understand that. So that's some questions that you can ask the attorney once you speak with them as far as understanding this with the legal protection, which is what I use. And there's so many other benefits, and I'll share with that in a second. Step 2, you're going to assign your income to the trust. You're going to assign your income to the trust. Now, your income, whether your business or personal, flows into the trust. Since the trust is entity receiving income and the trust doesn't operate under the same tax obligation, that is the key. As your income is treated differently, right? Because it's flowing not to you, it's flowing into the trust. So step 3, you remove taxable events. The trust doesn't earn income. It's a traditional sense, okay? You work, you get paid. It manages, this is what the trust does. It manages your assets, which means, okay, distribution and expenses are handled inside the trust according to trust laws, not tax laws. So that's why when you can put it in a trust, it's not handled as your income tax because it's going into the trust. Step 4, you follow the rules. So what are the rules? You must follow the contract legally protocol. That's why it's so important that you don't listen to these gurus, that you actually talk to an attorney that understands how a trust is. Hence why I do recommend you talk with Legal Shield, and the link is below so you can talk to someone and see if this is good fit and see what other things that they offer outside of the trust. And because there's other legal things that you can use this. It's like having an attorney in your pocket and you're not having to pay a whole lot of money with that, but there is going to be a little cost, not as much as if you're going straight to an attorney. So as I said, you must follow the correct legal protocols. This isn't a DIY strategy, right? If you grab off a Facebook post or you heard it on TikTok, this is some serious stuff. If you're really trying to put yourself in the position of creating wealth and protecting your income. So you need either a legal advisor, hence the link, a trust strategist, or a financial coach who is trained in a specific method. I'm not trained in it, I'm just know about it, which I'm sharing with you as relates to your taxes. And yes, you still need to file taxes. You just structure your affairs in such a way that you don't have to owe what most people do. Okay, so this is the important thing. So you may ask, what are the risks, the misconceptions, the warnings? Now, before you go off and cancel your W-2 or set up your trust from Google, or ChatGPT, slow your roll. Okay, slow your roll. Let's be clear about a few things. This is not tax evasion. I want you to understand it. You're not hiding money or ignoring IRS letters. This is just a method about compliance, not avoidance. You must have legal guidance. I cannot say that enough. That's why I said if you want to talk to somebody and have an understanding if this is a good fit for you and your spouse, or if you're single, whatever the case may be, then definitely. You must have a legal guidance. Okay, not every accountant or attorney understands these trusts. So you have to look for someone with experience in constitutional trusts, contract law, and asset protection. That's the thing. So constitutional trust, contract law, and asset protection. So that's a question that you can speak with an attorney when you click on the link below and get their information. Now, this is also important that you have to have record keeping is very critical. Anytime you're dealing with taxes, record keeping has to be on point. Okay, so you need to have immaculate, right? Your records need to be right and tight, clear paper trail, and properly executed trust documents. So it's a process, but that's why education is so important, which why I'm showing you this. And I want you to avoid scams as well, because there are so many things that are out here in these streets where people are telling you what you can do, and it's not so. Okay, so that's why if you know, then you know how to answer the right questions. Right? There's fake gurus, as I said, and you have to understand so you can be ahead of the game. So with that being said, who is this for? So if you're a high income earner, if you are an entrepreneur or you desire to be an entrepreneur, okay, you're a real estate investor, you have you're a home-based business owner, or someone looking to protect generational wealth, this is definitely another method. Now, if you're saying, okay, Teacher Melanie, I want to have a home-based business, I want to be able to get to a high, be a high income earner, I need to make some more money. If that's you and you're interested in, I want you to click on my link below on my discovery, and I want to share with you some opportunities that you can be able to work from home, okay, a turnkey business in the financial service industry, which is something that one of the things that I do as well. That's going to allow you, if you are willing to get licensed, because you do have to license because we are very much regulated, and you have the ability that you want to grow your income as well as help people to understand the importance of protecting their income, how to save and invest properly, how to protect their income as well, and create generational wealth, or understand the money game, then definitely connect with me on my discovery Zoom and see if we are a good fit. So yes, I know this is powerful. I've given you a lot of information, but it's not a shortcut or loophole, right? It's about your mindset, and it's about putting yourself in the position and understanding what is out there legally to help you to keep more of your money as well, right? It's have to understand of how money works in this good old USA. Despite all that's going on, that's neither here or there, but I want you just to be in the know of what you can do. So as I said, click the link below. If you are interested in and you're opening to more opportunity in making income, if you are interested in that, click my Discovery Zoom 15 minutes. If you are looking for legal and actually understand the legal, also click on the link below where you see the legal protection, where you can click on that and get some information and actually speak to someone and see what opportunities and things that they have available, which I'm going to also leave there too, because this is not just for trust, but it's for wills, it's for power attorneys, it's for if you get a ticket, right? It's, as I said, it's like having an attorney in your back pocket and you're not having to come up with a whole lot of expenses as well. There is a monthly fee. I do it. Oh, and also another component to it is identity theft. So I've given you a whole lot. Hopefully the information is helpful to you. All right. And so with that being said, I can't wait to see you in the next video. And like I always say, remember to pray, plan, and believe, because God is still in the business of doing miracles. Make it a great day. Bye, fabulous.